To order the Seeing and Doing Teacher's Notes for the spring term, price £1.10, Anthologies 1 and 2, price £3.95 each, and the Shape Up software, price £17.75, please contact your local ITV company. Alternatively, send a cheque or postal order to Schools Publications Office, Thames Television, 149 Tottenham Court Road, London W1P 9LL.
This is a very old windmill. It's been kept so well that the machinery inside still works. It grinds wheat to make flour. This type of windmill is called a post mill because it's built around a large central post. Before the grinding begins, the miller opens the slats on the sails to catch the wind. Whenever the wind changes, the post mill has to be turned so that the sails face the wind. To do so, the miller pushes this long wooden beam called the tail pole. He lowers the steps to anchor the mill. Now the milling can begin. First, the miller connects this iron cog to the huge wooden brake wheel. This rope releases the brake so that the sails can turn in the wind. And slowly, the wheels and cogs start to turn. This large brake wheel is the main wheel inside the windmill. It drives all the other wheels in the mill. Remember, it's the wind pushing the sails outside that makes the brake wheel turn. The bell warns the miller that he must fill up the hopper with grain. There are 3 floors inside the windmill, and the miller can't be everywhere at once. These are called governors. They help to keep the balance just right for grinding. The grain passes down a chute to the millstones, where it's ground into flour. The top millstone grinds the grain against the bottom millstone, which does not move. The millstones are very powerful and are boxed in for safety. floor below, the newly ground flour is collected by the miller. He then sieves it to separate the fine flour from the coarse flour. This flour is now just right for baking bread.
Right, children, did you notice that I brought in...
The children in this class have been looking at different kinds of windmills. They've made large paintings of windmills with rotating sails and brought in some models.
Which was the tower windmill. Brendan's made a lovely model windmill. Can you show the children? It's beautiful, isn't it? Mill. You see, Brendan's is on a post and it turns around, and that's the post holds it up, so that's why it's called a post mill. Why does the miller have to be able to turn his mill?
Because if the air's going this way, he'll have to turn it this way to get the air.
To get the wind. He has to catch the wind to make the sails rotate, doesn't he? That's right. Who thinks they know what the little slats are for in those white sails? Benedict, could you tell us? Do you want to go up and show the sails as well?
Well, if there's a very strong wind, you can open them out so that the wind will go through and they don't go around too fast. Yes. And if there's only a little bit of wind, you can turn them flat.
And then will it catch more wind if they're flat? Good.
We don't want it this long, that's good. We need it about there, don't we? Do about where we want it. I'll go and get a pencil, right?
Working in pairs, this group of children are designing and making sails for a windmill. Each pair has chosen to work with different materials. These girls are cutting out their sails from some cotton material.
Stop.
That's ready now. Hold it in both hands.
The glue gun must be used very carefully.
That's right. And then the other side.
It makes things stick quickly and firmly.
That's right, you're going to glue the other one on now.
Yeah.
The right tools must be used when working with wood. When drilling, the piece of wood must be clamped firmly in a vise. Talking about their plans helps the children to decide what will work best.
There. So, which way are we doing? This way? No, that. Yeah, that way. It doesn't really matter, because when the wind's blowing, it'll change direction, won't it?
Right, can you tell me what you've been...
Sometimes the teacher helps to sort out the ideas. These two girls have made sails out of corrugated plastic. They've made flaps on the sails which will need to be tested.
What happens if you take that off? What happens to the sail?
It goes down.
Does it? And when would you put it down?
When it's really windy.
So if it's very, very windy, you'll take the tape down and make the
Yes.
sail flat. Right, what if it was a very gentle breeze?
You put it up again.
Why would you do that?
Then I'll catch more wind.
Can you hold this? Okay.
The sails being made here will be worked by string. Holes are carefully punched for the string to be threaded through.
Does it work?
Yes. I hope so. I'm putting, I'm tying the knots. You know the ones you do on shoelaces? Yeah. I've been doing them so then they can slide across.
I thought you were doing 2 of the ones that you do on shoelaces.
The next stage is testing.
What should we test it? The Hoover? Yeah. Because that's a bit stronger and it's got more breeze. Because it will rotate. It will rotate and then even more, and then we'll go round faster.
What do you think will happen if you use the hairdryer?
It'll probably still go round, but not as fast as if you use the Hoover. We know it's strong enough.
Right. Where else could you test it?
Outside in the wind.
Do you think it would work in the wind?
Probably, if it was a big wind.
And so the children test their sails. First, they try the blowing action of a vacuum cleaner. Using a hairdryer is another good test. These sails just aren't strong enough. Look what's happened. The next sails to be tested are the ones made with material and string. Do you think they'll work?
Not that close.
These certainly catch the wind. A bit like this old Greek windmill, which still grinds corn today. Here's a modern windmill. It supplies the tiny island of Fair Isle with all its electricity. It's called an aerogenerator. In the Netherlands, windmills are often used to drain flooded land. Windmills are a very common sight in the Netherlands.
That's right. So what's happening to the wind?
Back in the classroom, the children are now testing the most successful sails on their working windmill model. Here, a sack of wheat is being lifted just by the power of the wind turning the sails. Some of the children are trying to grind their own wheat into flour. They find it's very hard work. Even with 2 stones. But millstones are far more suited for the job. Remember, everything in this old post mill is worked just by the wind.